How's it going, guys? We are back, and today we're talking about the brand new Dragon Ball Super film, Dragon Ball Super Hero, which has just come out in Japan not days ago. So in this video we're going to be going over news, spoilers, characters and all that good stuff. So make sure not to go anywhere and let's jump into it. Let's go.
This could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us.
Alright then, guys, so just before we go into the rest of the video, I do want to give you a bit of a warning. We are going to go through the plot of the Dragon Ball Super Superhero movie, which evidently does come with spoilers, with all the new things that are coming out as well. And this is based around all the leaks and the images and things like that that have been released as well, because I myself am in the West, so I haven't actually seen it as of yet. But like I said, we're going to go through that plot line and have a little talk about it and discussion and things like that as well. So if you don't want to be spoiled, take this as your warning, and if you haven't already, guys, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and let's jump into it. Okay then, guys, so as I mentioned, we're going to talk about general parts of the plot. We may miss some specifics because, like I said, I haven't seen it myself. This is based off the plots and spoilers and things like that have been released from Japan. So starting it off, I think we all know by now, Red Ribbon Army has a major part to play in this, and from the first scenes it seems like it starts with them, with Magenta, who I believe is, or Magenta, who I believe is the grandson of General Red from back in the Dragon Ball series, trying to convince Dr. Hero to join the Red Ribbon Army, who I think is also the grandson of Dr. Gero, I believe. Or Dr. Gero, however you want to say it, and they're trying to convince him to join the Red Ribbon Army and convince him to create superheroes, in quotations, to fight against villains, being the Z fighters, so Gohan and things like that as well. And an interesting point that has come out as well is there is a slight picture of Dr. Hero's mother being, or grandmother being, Dr. Gero's partner, and it is Android 21 apparently, so that is very interesting to note. So that is interesting that they're bringing Android 21 into the canon, if you talk about canon / non-canon, things like that. And the next part that we've got is where it brings us back to Piccolo. So as we probably already know as well, he's got a big part to play in the film, which I personally think is a good thing, because it's nice to give him some light finally, because I think the last time was probably a little bit in the Cell Saga when he was up against Android 17. But anyway, he does get attacked by the Gammas. I think it's Gamma 2. I might be mistaken. It might be Gamma 1, but I'm pretty sure it's Gamma 2 that he gets attacked by. And essentially, Gamma 2 beats him down a little bit and then thinks that he's destroyed him and disappears off. So then Piccolo does seem to somehow try to follow him, or anyway find his way to the Red Ribbon base, where he also sees that Gohan is a target, and their idea is to basically kidnap Pan to convince Gohan to come find her, and then they can battle him basically. So it seems from the spoilers that Piccolo actually undercover volunteers to go capture Pan and things like that. So he goes away and tries to kidnap her first of all, but then somehow she recognizes that Piccolo is Piccolo himself, and Piccolo actually asks Pan to basically play along a little bit and do this to basically convince that, or motivate Gohan to come and basically get his fighting spirit back, or something along those lines. You know, get himself back into training, which is nice for all you Gohan fans, because I know a lot of people wanted him back into the main scene, and it seems that he's finally done it. A big point that was actually made as well within the film is Piccolo goes to Dende, who actually managed to upgrade Shenron to basically give Shenron the ability to give Piccolo, off a wish obviously, the hidden power, something very similar to the Namek saga that Krillin and Gohan got from Elder Guru. Dende himself can't actually do it apparently, because you need a bit older or something like that. But yeah, so he's upgraded Shenron apparently, and then with that he goes off to basically make some wishes, and then gets the wishes to get his hidden potential unlocked. So as we've seen before, he gets something of a bit of an extra power, and he also gets something else from Shenron, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. So at this point, Goku and Vegeta are training on Beerus' planet, like we've seen in the trailers, and Broly is there as well. but essentially they can't be called back because Whis has something on his staff. Apparently Bulma does try to bring them back, but they can't because they can't get a hold of Whis, essentially. So I guess that's the reason for them not being in the film entirety, but we do see them a little bit, and we see a little bit of training, and something along the lines with Vegeta sort of meditating, a little bit like Jiren, so that'll be very interesting to see. So going back to Pan being obviously kidnapped somewhat fakely apparently, because Pan is probably quite strong by now. I think she's been training a little bit with Piccolo. So Gohan goes to rescue Pan as part of the storyline and then fights, I believe it's Gamma 1 in base form and then transforms to Super Saiyan. From the spoilers, it seems like they're relatively even matched, if not obviously in base form. He's getting beaten a little bit. So it's quite interesting to see these new androids being as strong as that, because Gohan, even though he's not been training a little while, this is a long way down the road. I suppose he is a little bit weaker than the Majin Buu saga, but still, they do manage to hold their own against Super Saiyan Gohan apparently. So throughout this fight with the Gammas then, Gohan does manage to unlock his hidden potential and manage to beat up Gamma 1, I believe it is, then bring in obviously Gamma 2 in to help his buddy somewhat or some extent, and then as part of that I think Piccolo thinks this is probably the time for me to step in, and he does, and that is the point where he unleashes his potential as well. After a bit of a fighting scene, it seems, which I'm going to leave out a little bit of course because it'd be nice to actually enjoy it in the cinema and things, but after a little bit of fighting, Piccolo starts to get beaten. And as part of that wish, which we actually saw a little bit in the actual trailers, he gets a little bit something extra, so he actually does another transformation, which then he turns into like a big bulky Piccolo, who is also orange as well. So it's very interesting to see him to get 2 new forms in this film, which is absolutely unreal. And like I said, I like the fact they're giving some love to Piccolo, because let's face it, he's not really been around a lot recently. So that is very good as well. So let me know down below what you think of the transformation. It should be up on screen as well. But pretty crazy, to be fair. So after this new transformation of Piccolo, apparently Gamma goes to attack him, and basically it's like punching a brick wall, and Piccolo takes no damage, and basically with him, I think it's like 1 or 2 punches, just takes Gamma 2 straight down, and with no ease at all. So this transformation gave him a massive power boost, which, like I said, go on Piccolo, you deserve it. I think this is the point where the Z Fighters arrive, so essentially that's like Goten, Trunks, Krillin and all that sort of stuff, and apparently Bulma's on the battlefield as well for some reason. She does like to do that for some reason. And then as well, they also name, at this point, the new transformation from Piccolo, which apparently translated is Orange Piccolo. We will see when it comes to the dub, but Orange Piccolo. It's not that ingenious or thoughtful, I guess, but still, I guess it goes towards the transformation and explains that a little bit, so fair enough. So after the 2 Gammas are basically getting beaten down by Gohan and Piccolo, it seems like someone from the Red Ribbon Army, I think Magenta, however you say the name, thinks the only way to win is to release the new villain of this film, which we've all been waiting for, and they've kept it very secret, but a lot of people have guessed it, to be fair, and it is another Cell, which is absolutely unreal. They are actually bringing Cell back, which is crazy, and apparently this is a new type of Cell, so it's Cell Max, which there should be a picture on the screen coming up, but it basically looks like second form Cell, but red and like bright orange eyes, which I think is a bit weird. I would have thought it would have been like a form slightly past perfect Cell, but apparently not. Maybe down the line that he could have absorbed more androids and things like that as well, which we all thought he was going to absorb Gamma 1 and 2 originally, but it seems like throughout this film he doesn't do that at all. He just gets released as basically a second form Cell, and I haven't seen much stuff from the spoilers or anything about how they've managed to create him again or anything like that, but hey ho, it is what it is. At this point where Cell Max is actually released, apparently everyone jumps in, and even Goten and Trunks try to fuse, and apparently they do have a little bit of a conversation where they talk about being a little while since they fused, and they do manage to fail it basically by their fingers, which we did kind of see from the spoilers slash some of the pictures and things like that as well. And we got fat Gotenks show up in the film, which is probably a bit of a slice of life part, if anything, but it's nice to see that anyway. Something they do point out, and I think it's from one of the Gammas when they go, everyone attack all against Cell Max, but his weakness is at the top of the head, and it is basically a failsafe, just in case they need to shut him down at any point and you have to attack it as hard as you can and hopefully break through it, and that's the way to destroy him, with all cells getting absolutely destroyed. It seems like the final battle, like I said, is against Cell Max, and he is basically just going crazy by the sounds of it, and everyone's just fighting and fighting and fighting away. Like I said, even Gamma 1 and 2 are joining in the fight, and I think it's Gamma 2 who does a full power attack on Cell, something about going up and then soaring back down, and managed to take his arm off or something along those lines. But everyone is going in. It seems like they're doing some damage to him, but he is somewhat winning the battle. And then eventually, Orange Piccolo comes back into the battle. He does make a full power attack onto Cell, and we do see the giant Piccolo form again. Which, if you don't know what that is, that's from the Dragon Ball saga back in the World Tournament, and he uses it against Goku. And I think Goku actually jumps in and gets Kami back out of a bottle from there, from the Mafuba and things. A little bit of a backstory. So he's basically going one-on-one with Cell Max by the sounds of it. And then eventually, after a little while, he is losing and things like that. And by the sounds of it, Cell Max does a massive damage on Piccolo, to the point where Piccolo seems like he is completely gone, it's completely dead. And Gohan does something absolutely unreal by the sounds of it, and I am personally waiting to see that rather than seeing spoilers and things like that, because apparently the animation is absolutely unreal. But at this point, Piccolo is not the only one who gets a transformation, but so does Gohan. They've made it seem like it's very similar to how he does against Cell back in the day, but 10 times better, so make sure to look forward to that if you haven't seen the film yet. But I will put it up on screen. Like I said, there is some spoilers throughout this film, but he looks absolutely outrageous. It looks like fan art or something like that, but it's basically like a purple aura with white hair and red eyes. And then eventually, obviously turning into this transformation, he does eventually fight through and defeat Cell Max with a special beam cannon, I've heard. That is the long and short of the storyline. Like I said, there's a lot of specifics missed out, because I'm sure that you want to enjoy it within the actual film itself. But yeah, like I said, that is quite a lot to the film. I can't wait to see it myself, personally. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like I said, these are spoilers and leaks that we've seen. I've seen them throughout Facebook, Twitter, and things like that, so there's no specifics I can point you to. But absolutely unreal. Unfortunately for me, it's quite hard to avoid any spoilers, but if you managed to throughout this video, I guess you wouldn't have by this time, but you know what I mean. Hopefully you are enjoyed for the film. Like I said, if you haven't already, guys, and you're enjoyed for the Dragon Ball Super film and you're excited, hit that like and subscribe for me, and it really does help me out. And thank you very much for watching. Like I said, let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll catch you later. Ciao.